Hi there, welcome to a Fantasy Grounds Pathfinder Second Edition Release 19 preview video. As part of the ongoing Release 19 development and testing, I'm doing a few short videos highlighting specific functionality as part of the Release 19 update. As of recording, this isn't even in the test channel, let alone live, but check the link to the forum thread in the video details to get more information about the planned release and testing and how to get involved. So this is the second update that's going to cover activities, and this is really the core of the whole Release 19 functionality. And activities are pretty core to Pathfinder Second Edition as well. If I just bring up the reference manual, obviously there's the 3-action economy within encounter mode, but also there's 10-minute activities, 1-minute activities in exploration mode. There's downtime time activities. There's all sorts of different activities that actually characters can do within Pathfinder Second Edition. So here's an example. I'm just going to the skills chapter of the core rules, and this shows you a number of activities that you can do. So acrobatics has a balance activity, which is 1 action tumble through, 1 action maneuver in flight, 1 action squeeze, which is an exploration activity. Having a look at athletics, there's climb, a single action, force open, single action grapple, high jump, 2 action activity, long jump, 2 action activity, shove, swim, trip, disarm. All types of different activities actually available in that. Arcana has decipher writing, identify magic, learn a spell, recall knowledge, and borrow an arcane spell, which is exploration. And so there's lots of different activities that are available. There's skills-based activities. If we have a look at the encounter mode, there's a bunch of basic actions in there: aid, crawl, delay, all sorts of different reactions, single action, double action activities, free actions. All available to the PCs and NPCs to select on their round as part of an encounter. So prior to Release 19, this data was pretty much, scattered around in the reference manual, things that were specific to a character. You might have had to go to, your abilities tab, an attack of opportunity, this is a reaction. Things like that. You'd have to kind of go around and check feats, check abilities, check the rule books to see what was actually available to you, and a lot of those roles weren't even baked in. You could do some of them through a spell. In the actions tab, you could set up some spells here, but really the functionality wasn't there to automate this and make the information available in a single place. So that's really what Release 19 is all about. It's showing these activities all in one place, and that's the Activities tab. So this is a new tab that's been added, and this displays various types of activities. There's item activities, so this character has a healing potion, so they have a minor healing potion, so the activities, the heal related to that is available here. Under item activities, there's the skill actions. I don't have everything in here. This is still going through development and test, but we have all the various different skill actions. We'll have encounter actions down here that show the actions you can take in an encounter. There'll be miscellaneous actions. There'll also be, actually I should really rename these to activities. There'll be class-based activities, feat-based activities, all sorts of things in here. I'm still finalizing the design for this at the moment. I'm looking at function rather than form to get the underlying functionality up and running. Also plan to have a search bar in here so you can search for activities, and also like a favorite, so you can you can tag an activity as a favorite and then display that at the top. And also there's an order field here that determines which activity section is displayed in order on the actual on this activities tab. So just looking at skill activities, as far as they go, this pretty much presents the data that's available in the chapter 4 of the core rules. So for acrobatics, we have balance as a single action, tumble through as a single action, maneuver in flight a single action, explorate and squeeze as an exploration activity. And these are presented here. So we can see single action exploration, single action. As usual, wherever there's a trait displayed, a Pathfinder Second Edition trait, you can double click on that field to get more information about that trait. If we want to find out more about what balancing is, we can go, click the link to open the details about that balance activity. And notice we have these now actions and effects at the bottom of the activity. So this is going to be an acrobatics check. It's against a target DC of none. Essentially, you're not targeting something, another creature to work out the DC. Like you would for tumble through. You would target the target's reflex to actually work out if you could actually tumble through their space. So that's just showing you some of the actions. A good example showing you quite a few actions is the Treat 1 skill. It's a 10-minute exploration activity, and it's a medicine check against a fixed DC of 15, and if we get a critical success we do 4d8 healing. If we get a normal success we do 2d8, and if we do a critical failure we do 1d8. So this kind of has a couple of things. You'll be targeting something for the result, but you'll be rolling your medicine check against DC 15. So just as an example, I'll show you that now. So tester 1, I'll target, just use control left click to target my one of his party members who's taken 22 wounds. So just left click there, that's normal targeting functionality. And then what I do is notice that there's now 3 different modes to display here. Summary will show you everything without the action buttons, and if you want to get to the action buttons you can expand with the magnifying glass to see details of the action. You can show all actions, and that's going to show every single action button. And then there's min actions. So this is minimum actions. So each activity will have each action within an activity will have a display in the min action section. So to actually just do a treat ones, all we need the medicine check, and then we need what we show apply all actions, which is going to apply the relevant action based off the result of that check. So basically I'm just going to do that now. I've got the min actions shown up, there's less buttons cluttering up here. Make my fixed check DC against DC 15, roll a 16 in total, so that's a success. Note we present details of what the actual success data is. So this is taking the success data from that activity, so it just tells you that we're going to heal 2d8 hit points. And I'm just going to use this apply all actions button, which is going to apply the relevant action based off the result. It was a success, so we roll 2d8, do 9 hit points worth of healing to the cleric, and he's looking a little better now. I'm just going to kind of I'll add 10 to that to try and get a critical success, just to show you what it looks like. Maybe I should have added 20. So critical success, 48 hit points. Just click this, apply all effects, and it works out the 48. Does 27, and now, hey, my party member's completely healed up. Just to show you as well what happens with a critical failure. So there you go. We're actually going to target takes 1d8 damage, so I don't have any hero points left. I can't re-roll that, so I'm sorry. I know I've just healed you, but I'm just going to do 7 points of damage to you. So that's now, very, very quick to actually go through and do that. The treat ones activity. Roll, hit apply button. Target, move on, target somebody else, move on. So that's just showing a fixed DC entry. What happens if I, maybe I'm doing a recall knowledge, which can be a variable DC, and this is a secret check. So the GM would actually roll for that. So just having a quick look on the GM side, we have a DC field here, so the GM can set the DC before the roll is made. So I'm going to say DC 15, going to make the recall knowledge check. Note the player doesn't see the roll. But the GM does. They see what it is. It's an untrained arcana recall knowledge, and it's a failure. I'll just make that a bit easier so you can see. So that's 11 against a 5, so recall knowledge, activity success. You recall the knowledge accurately or gain a useful clue about your current situation. Again, because it's a secret check, the player doesn't see the results. And then, the DC gets cleared afterwards. If they're doing something that that they pretty much know exactly whether they, would fail or not, like a climb check, the GM sets the DC. The player makes a change, they see the result of success, they don't see the DC still in here, success, and you move up, cross, or safely down the incline for 5 feet. So it gives you details of the actual success for that task, with a DC set by the GM. The GM doesn't have to set the DC, the player can just roll the climb, and the GM can say, oh, that's a 17, it's a success. But if you want to see the automatic presentation of what that success actually means, which when you're first using the system might be useful, the GM can set the DC. And the final target type available for the new actions is you can target a DC of the creature that you're targeting. So the shove activity uses your athletics skill against the target's DC, fortitude DC. So I'm just going to target a creature. Just get my targeting right. So I'm going to target an Aasimar Redeemer, which is the GM. Have a quick check for that. Fortitude's 12, so this is going to be 22. It's going to be a little bit difficult for the player to do this, especially he's got an athletics of +7, so a bit of a chance. So I just roll the shove check. This targets the fortitude DC of the Aasimar Redeemer, and that actually that's a success. So we've rolled 23 against the Aasimar Redeemer. We don't know the DC of that. It doesn't present that here, but it's a success. So you push your target back, you can stride after, but you must move the same distance. So it gives you details of that there. I'm just going to simulate a critical failure here. Just put a -10 in there. Maybe I'm trying to shove for the 3rd time this round. And that's a critical failure. You lose your balance, fall, and land prone. Notice for this there is a apply all actions button, and prone is a critical effect, and it's self, apply to self. So it's like, oh my god, I wrote a critical failure, hit the apply all actions button, and now I'm prone. So you can go through and apply the result state action based off the result state. Through there, so and then you can do things. Well, maybe I'm grappling at the moment. This won't apply the prone effect. I haven't coded that in. I still need to code in all of the effects for here. But yeah, I got an 8 to try and grapple against the fortitude DC, which we know is 22. We've just checked. That's a critical failure. So you need a grab or restraint. If you're ready, you lose actions. So it just tells you exactly what's going on there. So it's great. It automatically does the checking, and like I say, effects will impact that roll as part of the ongoing Release 19 development. Multi-attack penalties, if there's an attack trait, that they'll be taken into account as well. So you can do all of your roll, and this just makes it easier for the players. You see the text result of the activity. The activities window, players can come through and go, okay, I need to make a shove check. They can just roll it and apply it. They don't need to work everything out, and they can see that it takes an action. They can see high jump takes 2 actions. GMs can set the DC for things like climb and recall knowledge and things like that. The secret trade is taken into account, and the GM only sees the result of the roll. So there's a lot more of the underlying Pathfinder Second Edition functionality around activities programmed in to Release 19, which hopefully should make it a lot easier for the players and the GMs to work out the results of those activities and actually see the type of activities that are available to them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're still with me at the end here, and look out for future updates as we go through the Release 19 development and testing. Thanks very much for watching.